whatever you're comfortable with. Let's do Tyler's idea with a common denominator. So quarters, right, are what we're looking for. This is 6. We don't need to worry about that. This is going to be 5 2/4 or 2/4. 4 1/4. 7 2/4. And 4 3/4. All right, now we're going to add up the regular numbers first. 6 and 5 is 11, plus another 4 is 15, plus 7 is 22, plus 4 is 26. 26 hours so far. What's 2/4 plus 1/4? 3/4 plus another 2/4 is 5/4 now, plus another 3/4 is 8/4. So it's an extra 2 hours. So it adds up to 28 hours. Now if instead, because half and quarters, you can't do this when it comes to like a third, because a third would be 0.333 repeating, right? And you can't type that into your calculator. But typing in 1/4 is pretty easy because that'd be 0.25. So if you wanted to change it to 0.5s, 0.25s, you can do that and that would work. Okay? But if you're doing the thing where you're like, oh, it's a third of an hour, and you start putting in 0.3333 and adding it up and then telling me instead of it being 28 hours, it's 27 hours and 0.9999999, no. Okay? Learn how to round, figure it out. Backside. Number 18. Use the time card to answer the question. So this is what a time card looks like. This is more like created by a computer instead of you. How many hours did Sam work? Looks like he didn't work at all on Saturday or Sunday, so those are just empty, so you don't need to worry about that. All right, now, these are very specific times, and I think we should do the same thing as we did on the front side. We're going to round down to the nearest quarter hour, okay? All right, so right next to this, I'm going to write, let's say this is more like 8 o'clock a.m., and this is 4 o'clock p.m. All right, so going from 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, how many hours is that? It's okay to count on your fingers. Sawyer? 8. 8 o'clock to noon is 4 hours. Noon to 4 is another 4 hours. I'm putting that over here, so I have a total kind of on this side. This one is 7:45 to 2:45. I think this one is literally easier to figure out on your fingers, so think about it with me, okay? 7:45, 8:45 is my first one, right? 8:45, 9:45, 10:45, 11:45, 12:45, 1:45, 2:45, that's 7 hours. It's way easier, especially when the minutes match, to just count it on your fingers than try to figure it, because otherwise I'd be like, okay, so to get to noon, it was 4 hours and 15 minutes plus another 2 hours and 45 minutes. It gets complicated. Fingers are easier sometimes. This one is 8:15 to 4:15. Looks like another one for our fingers, right? Since it's going by 15s. 9:15, 10:15, 11:15, 12:15, 1:15, 2:15, 3:15, 4:15, 8 hours. Wednesday goes from 7:45 in the morning to 4:45 in the evening. (8:45, 9:45, 10:45, 11:45, 12:45, 1:45, 2:45, 3:45, 4:45. I got 9 this time. You guys get the same thing? This one is going to be 8:45 in the morning to 12:30. All right, I think this one would be easier to split up with like noon. Do you know what I'm talking about? So if we're trying to go from 8:45 to noon, how many hours is that? This is a hard one to think about. Okay, so imagine that it's 9 instead. How many hours from 9 to noon? 3. But it's not 9, it's 8:45, so we need an extra 15 minutes, right? So I'm going to write here on this one, maybe off to the side, we're going to get 3 hours and 15 minutes in the morning. In the afternoon, it looks like he just worked from noon to 12:30, right? So that's another 30 minutes. So that adds up to 3 hours and 45 minutes. All right, so now we need to add them together. So in my calculator, I'm taking 8 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 3, and I got 35 hours and 45 minutes. You guys get the same thing? All right, so then if I go back to the top, that is 35 hours and 45 minutes. If he earns $7.55 per hour, what was his pay? When I put this in my calculator, I know that I'm going to take the how much he makes per hour times how many hours he worked. What should I put in my calculator for this? 35.45? No, why not? Sawyer?
Because 45 minutes is 3/4 of an hour.
3/4 of an hour, which is 0.75. So when you put this in your calculator, you're going to put in 35.75, that's 3/4 of an hour, times 755. I got $269.91. You guys get the same?
Yeah.
All right, so you guys got the rest of the hour to work?
You gonna be looking at this?
Yeah, I'm gonna go grab my seating chart to check that in. Check. Gotta print out my seating chart, haven't needed it yet this week.